Alright, what up guys? So just like we do every season in Diablo 4, I kind of either go over things that I think are bad about the game or things that I think need to be improved on. So this is just like a list of, I mean, it's kind of a little bit of both. Like I'm obviously dogging on the game, but giving my feedback of what I think needs to be changed about the game. Um, I usually do these in like I record, one thing, stop it, record another thing, stop it, put it together, make a video. But I'm gonna try to one take this because I'm in a little bit of a hurry. So I'm gonna be umming a lot, or I might jump over my words or something, but we'll make it through it. So first things first, there needs to be more balance in classes and skills within those classes. Um, Certain skills are just completely obsolete. They can't compete with the best of the best, which is also just an issue I have that we'll get to in a minute. The example I give right now is 2 seasons ago or last season or something like that. I think it was last season. They released Stoneburst for Druid, and it's unplayable. It's not good. I don't even know if it can really even clear tier 4 content because it's been stuck in C class. I've looked at videos of it, and I've seen somebody do like a pit 65, so technically they can do tier 4 content, but it's not very good. It's slow. It takes forever, and I feel like that's the majority of skills. Like there's a line, obviously, right? And I feel like at least half of the skills fall below this line where they're just like virtually unplayable. And I don't know why that is a thing. It makes it where trying to play in a particular, like, I don't know, maybe I'm done playing my meta build and I want to go over to something else. And what am I going to go to? Everything else just can't really do anything. Which kind of like takes me into one of my next points is some of the seasonal mechanics. This is a different note on my paper, but they tie together. Seasonal mechanics need to stop making some builds completely OP. Um, and the way they can do that is just to make it where all different types of skills can benefit from seasonal content. This season, core skills got a little bit of love from one of the occult gems, but what really got a lot of love was ultimate skills. I don't know if you guys noticed, but every single like A tier, B tier, not A and B, S and A, and all of the S's, if I'm not mistaken, are all ultimate builds, and it's because of that one occult gem that makes, I can't remember the name of it, but it's the one that makes it where all of your ultimates are all of the witchcraft power types, and it gives it a damage boost. That tied in with a couple of other things, obviously, but for the most part, that is the reason. And like I said, core skills got it where it can be like Eldritch, I do believe. But let's take for example, basic builds dominated one season, right? And it's because they added like the shard of Barstool, for sure. I don't know what the heck it was called, but it was the sword. They added Moonrise and adaptability. Yeah, adaptability, and those made basic builds really, really good. And then now they're nerfed into the ground, and now it's ultimates. And next season, I guarantee you, ultimates will be crap, and something else will be up there. And that's all fine and dandy. At least it's not the same thing up there every season. But I really think there just needs to be more things that are up there,
All
right?
right, so that was as bad
Even
as I thought it
stuff
was going to
on,
be.
we're gonna go with
Messed up
Max
from the
Roll
very
for
beginning, though.
our example here. Even the stuff that's in A tier can't come anywhere close to the S tier stuff. Um, So it's just like, what's the point? If it's not on the S tier list, don't even play it. It's pretty what people do. I don't see anybody that's not a Earthquake Hodabarb, a Cataclysm Druid, Bloodwave Necro, or Rain of Arrows Arrow or Rogue. That's pretty much probably 85% of what I see, and I really wish the game just had more diversity. From my standpoint, it would make it more fun too, because I can go and make new characters and play with other skills and just have more fun with it, right? Um, but that is hard. Here's another point of mine. They really need to fix how Masterworking works. Um, it is not fun making a new character when I have to get so many of the, what are they called? The little abductees or something? That's somebody who got abducted. I don't know. You guys know what I'm talking about. The upgrade material. Um, it is horrible to farm, and you have to get so much of it, and then your gear is just completely screwed, and you have to restart it. Um, some people are going to say, well, why do you want everything handed to you? I don't. But getting the this is a different problem. Getting the materials to masterwork is not fun. There's nothing fun about running Nightmare Dungeons anymore. There's no challenge to it. If you can beat Pit Tier 65, then essentially you can just clear Nightmare Dungeons like it's nothing. Um, no fun to it. Um, Definitely Infernal Hordes is not fun, especially whenever you're forced to play one of the OP classes that we were just talking about, where you're just standing in the middle with your rain of arrows and going and blast on each side. It's fun the first 2 times because you see how much chaos and mayhem that you're causing, and then you realize you're able to get 1, 2 to 3 potential upgrade out of it, and it's just really, your statistical odds of getting what you want are so low, and the way that you have to get these materials, it's not where it's at. What could they do to masterworking? I don't know, because I don't want it to be too easy. I think in reality what I would want is it to just be more fun to get the materials. But if they're not going to do that, make it where you have to, I don't know, there's like a tier system, right? So you got 1, 2, 3. Maybe you just, whenever you reset it, it only goes back 1 tier so that you can get there. Because your odds when you're hitting, it's for normal gear, it's what, 6 potential rolls. On uniques, it's sometimes 4. So even at 4, let's go with the statistical odds of 4. You have to hit 25% 3 times, and I'm no mathematician, but I know that your odds are low. What's the next one we want to kind of go over? We were talking about the masterworking materials. This is really small, and you know, if they didn't change this, it wouldn't be a big deal. It is kind of annoying that you don't just auto pick up the upgrading material from Nightmare Dungeons. There's been times where I backtrack and my pet didn't pick up something because it was like out of its range or something. And the way that you can fix that, when it comes to the upgrading materials, if you're doing Nightmare Dungeons, you're pretty much trying to farm those. It's not because Nightmare Dungeons are fun. Okay, so if you're missing some, it's kind of annoying. A fix for that would literally just make it where they don't drop them on the ground when you kill something. It just gets added to your currency tab or whatever, wherever the hell it's at. Not a huge deal, but kind of annoying. What's something else that's super small and annoying that I can complain about? Let pets pick up scattered prisms. Super minor, but it is kind of annoying that it pops up as a star on my mini map, and then it'll be like, "Oh, you missed something. Go to your stash tab," and I go to my stash tab, and like it's just a scattered prism. It's just why not? Why don't they just get picked up with all the other shit? Like you pick up gems, your pet picks up gems for you, right? That kind of stuff. Why just let them pick up the prism? Okay, not a huge deal, but kind of annoying sometimes. Um, Loot filter. I'm not even going to elaborate too much on it. Loot filter. At the very least, allow us to click a box that will just like auto salvage anything that's not got a greater affix on it. A more in-depth loot filter would be nice and all, but at least that, where like the only things that drop on the ground have greater affixes on them. Whenever you are masterworking, whenever you are tempering, this is a small thing too. That's what we're going on, and I'm not really doing. I'm kind of bouncing around my list here. We're like halfway done. Tempering. Whenever you are tempering a certain, say you want to do barbarian invocation, it's really annoying whenever you hit temper on that, and it gives you whatever you rolled, and then it takes you back to the main menu, and you have to select, you know, whatever tab that's in. I can't remember. I think it's weapons, and then you have, or yeah, weapons, and then you have to go back to barbarian invocation. Just leave it on there until I leave or select something else. Okay. Not a huge deal. Again, just a little annoying. Amulet passives is a big one for me. I think amulet passives are way too hard to obtain. Considering that every single class, if you don't have a unique in your amulet slot, you really, really need passives, and typically you need 2. And your odds of getting 1 are low. I don't know. I don't necessarily think that you should have to necessarily bump up the rate at which they drop necessarily. I think you Maybe you need to up the rate at which they drop. I'm not 100% sure on this, but one thing I do know is they need to make it where you can roll it easier, because I've rolled like 200 times on before on an amulet and it didn't hit what I wanted, right? It didn't even come close. Like, it'll be like there was like one or two passes in there and they were +1 instead of +2. And it's just I don't know. It makes it hard to make new builds whenever you need a new amulet, because you know I know life this game sometimes, and even I don't have enough resources to buy everything that I need on the Diablo trade market, let alone somebody. Because you gotta also look at this through a perspective of somebody who doesn't want to go through the Diablo trade market. They just want to play the game, and they're pretty much just solo self found, except for like they'll post in or they'll use the new in-game party up feature to do what is it, um, boss runs, right? They'll sometimes do that, or they'll do it to do the Citadel. But 90% of their content, which I mean 90% of my content's always solo self found, even when I trade a lot. But you guys get what I'm saying here. Some people just don't want to do that. Um, I have two more things on here. One of them is just says don't make a season so repetitive, especially if it's too easy. Um, right now, you need to farm you need the fugitive's heads and the restless rotting, whatever it is, the currency that you use to craft gems and upgrade your witchcraft powers. It is it the worst? No, but like it's so repetitive. Just go to these zones and do these whispers, and it's the same whispers every time. And it's not like the content's even like challenging, right? I think that's the biggest thing, is that anything that's in the open world like that is not going to be challenging enough to be worth having to spend dozens of hours to get the shit I need. I say dozens of hours, probably a dozen hours, maybe more. It just depends, right? Especially, I mean, I guess it's especially if you just want to make multiple characters. I think that's what I'm getting. That's why I said dozens, because in order to make two, two or three. Some of the classes, I'm trying to think about how many use what, but most classes use two of the legendary occult gems and like one of the others. So that's what 4,000, 8,000, like 10 to 12,000 head rot. And once you run out of whispers, to like you have to wait a few minutes in order to get a new area to go to. Usually, I would just do all the areas, come back in an hour, do them again, right? I don't know. It's just too easy. It's really boring. I don't know what it is about season 7. I'll go on this rant actually in a minute. I'll go on this rant towards the end. I got one more thing. Other than glyphs, there's no real reason to pit push. Now, I don't know what you could do about that, but after you get your glyphs leveled, what's the point in pushing to 120 other than to just do it, right? I don't understand. I don't know. There's no reward for doing it. At pit 105, you can do all of your glyphs. So I don't know. You don't get any special like chance at particular loot or anything like that. And I don't know. It'd just be nice if there was an incentive to push higher, right? In my opinion, I think we need a world tier 5 that sits somewhere after pit tier 100. But that's just me. Probably not just me. There's probably other people that agree. Okay, so what I said I was going to rant on about in a minute. I don't know what it is, but seasons 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 were great. 3 was but it was good. It's still. Season 6 was okay. I think there was mostly just a lot of new stuff, right? New class and all that. That was super busted. Season 7 has just been absolutely boring as hell. It is not fun for me anyway. There's been moments where I have fun, of course, or else I wouldn't have gotten as far as I've gotten. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just tired of playing Diablo after like 2,000 hours over the last year and a half or something, or year and 9 months. But it's just not as fun as it used to be. And it's kind of depressing, because we'll go on a little TLDR rant here. I played games my whole life, sometimes for 12 hours a day for years on end. I stopped wanting to play games. I got sick, and that definitely helped. Not wanting to play, just feeling like crap all the time makes you not want to. But even a little bit before then and after it, I just don't enjoy video games. I went from playing Fortnite every day back in the day to uh, playing things like Counter Strike and Valorant, and then after Counter Strike and Valorant, nothing was really fun anymore. I played a little bit of CS again, and a little bit of Fortnite again, and then I found Magic the Gathering, which I don't really play anymore either, but I played it nonstop for like a year and a half. Got really into it. And since then, the only thing that has caught my attention has been Diablo 4. And I don't know what it is about the game because a lot of people never didn't like it in Season 0. A lot of people didn't like it in Season 1 or 2. But I don't know. I could just get into it, and I thought it was really fun. And I don't know if I've just played so much of it I'm bored now, or if Season 7 is legitimately bad. It seems to be a little bit of both. Because I see a lot of people complaining about Season 7 and a lot of people defending Season 7. It's kind of, people are just kind of 50-50 on it, right? But I digress. This is all just rambling opinion. But that is what my complaints are at the moment. Not that it matters, because my opinion doesn't matter, obviously. But I can give it because, I mean, I know this is the internet, but I live in America, so I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to get shot for my opinion. Thank you guys for watching. I don't know what or when I'll make another video, but see you guys in the next one.